A king many years ago was about to die, and he knew it. And those days, the king used to have somebody that they appointed to amuse him, to make him happy, to tell him stories, almost to play the comedian before him. And every time to cheer him up, he will ask, is the fool there? They used to call him a fool because he used to say some foolish things that the king would just laugh and laugh. And so, is the fool there? And they said, yes, and fool come. And the fool came. That's his title. And the king said, I'm about to go, about to leave. And so I want you to go around the country and go and find somebody more foolish than yourself, the greatest fool in the land. Go get him. Before I die, I will offer him this staff. And the fool went all around the nation, every corner, every community, every local government, everywhere. And then he came back. And the king said, have you found somebody more of a fool than yourself? And he said, no, really. But I can tell you somebody who is a greater fool than myself. And so the king said, tell me, I want to hear. And the fool said, Your Majesty, Honorable, you are going on a long journey. Yes. When you go to this long journey, you will not come back here. Yes. And the fool said to the king, have you prepared for that journey? And the king thought and said, no, not really. And the fool said, get the staff. You are the greatest fool that I've seen in the land. You're going for a long journey. When we go for a short journey, a brief journey, we're prepared. And you are here, you tell me, you are going on this long journey and you have not prepared. What's the fool telling us? Even a fool telling us that if we don't prepare for the future, that we are the greatest fool. The woman wants to prepare a good meal, and so she looks at the future at the table, when all the members of the family will gather together. What will I cook? What will I prepare? And what will I dress for the family? The future. And the woman, the wife, the mother goes to prepare. We always prepare for the future. A child is going to take an exam, and he knows that the exam is going to take place in 2 or 3 days, or 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 or 3 months. He prepares. If he is not preparing, that's the greatest fool in college. A person is preparing for a profession, and he says, I want to be this in the future. I will say, how are you preparing? He has no preparation. He's not thinking of the future. That's the greatest fool in our community. A person is preparing for old age. When I get older, I'm going to be this, I'm going to rest, I'm going to retire, and I'm going to live on what I've already provided. And the person, look at them there, is not preparing for that time. The greatest fool in our place. A person says, I know there is heaven. I know that heaven is there, and to get there, this is what it requires. The only one that can take me there is Jesus Christ, who says, I go to prepare a place for you. And the fellow is not preparing for the heavenly future. That's the greatest fool on earth. Whatever we have, education, we have, money, we have, whatever. But we're not preparing for the future. That is the greatest fool in town. There are even greater fools in the church. a fool in the church. We're talking about Christ, we're talking about heaven, and we're talking about how we can get there. And the man, the woman comes to church every Sunday and every weekday, and he prays and does everything, but the preparation does not include preparing for the heavenly future. That's the greatest fool in church. Forsake the foolish. All the foolish things, whatever I'm doing, it may look interesting, I may be excited with it, but it's not preparing me for the future. You want to have future health. You want to be strong, and you want to be healthy, and in the future, even when you get older, you want to still remain strong. How are you preparing for that? The fellow is eating junk and he's doing risky things that could kill him and destroy him. That's the greatest fool among us. And the Lord is saying, think of the future. And when you think of the future, you prepare for the future. If you are not preparing for the future, you are the greatest fool in town. I will not be a fool. I said I will not be a fool. You know, somebody who goes to college and, you spent 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years in college, and the final exam that will determine the result of all those 4, 5 years, 7 years in college is coming the following week, and then in the, just a week to the exam, is still going to the night club, is still surfing the internet, is still looking at all those things that will not contribute anything to the result of the final exam. That's foolish. And it says, forsake the foolish and live. Live a bright life. And live a vibrant life. And live with eternal life. And live the life of Christ. The Christ-like life. The life that is peaceful. You have to forsake the foolish and live. And go in the way of understanding. I pray the Lord will do it in your life. In my life, I will forsake the foolish. Now, I need to call myself to attention. Now, I say, and I'm talking about you, I'm going to do this next week. I'm going to do this next month. I'm going to do that next year. I must have a goal. If I don't have a goal, am I wise or foolish? I'm going to become this in life in a decade, in 10 years' time. Because you need to have a yearly goal, a 5-year goal, a 10-year goal. And you need to look at the future. And this is my goal for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And if that is where I want to be, I imagine myself already there. Then I walk backwards and I say, what do I need to do so that I will get there in 10 years? Understand? If you're 20 now, in 10 years, you're 30. If you're 35 now, in 10 years, you're 45. You don't wait until when your vehicle gets there in 10 years' time. I'm here now. What am I supposed to do here? You should have thought about that 10 years ago. And that is the future. That if you are wise and you forsake the foolish, you'll be going and you're checking up every week. Since I say in 10 years, that's where I want to be. This past week, what have I done to contribute to that future goal? This past month, what have I done to contribute to the 10-year goal? And this year, the year is running to an end. What have I done to contribute to that final goal? So that when you arrive, 10 years point, then you know I made it, because I forsook the foolish. The foolish things I would have been doing that will take my heart, take my mind, take my attention, all that I have forsaken. And the Lord the friend of all people that come to him, has taken me to this point now, he will take you there.